Good morning, class. I'm Ms. Ellis. We had a lesson yesterday regarding the periodic table, and today we're going to jump right in, talking about the differences between elements and compounds. I really want to quickly review our classroom expectations, just so we're on the same page for today and for every day. In terms of classroom expectations, we are always respectful. We listen when our peers and when the teacher is talking. We're honest. We turn in our own work. We're open, we assume the best in others, and we practice tolerance. We work together because learning is a collaborative experience, and I love when you guys work together. And finally, we have fun, because learning is a joy, and we're supposed to have fun in this class. All right, moving on to today's lesson, we're going to learn about the difference between elements and compounds. Let's just do a quick show of hands. Raise your hand a little bit if you've ever heard of an element or a compound before. Okay, looks like a few people have. So today, what we're going to learn is we're going to explain in writing, we're going to write at the end, the difference between an element and a compound using concept-specific vocabulary. And all that means is we're really going to unpack these key vocab words here so everyone understands them by the end of the day. First up, I need a volunteer to please read the definition of element for me. And as our volunteer reads, we're going to go through the definition and we're going to underline some really important words. So I want everyone paying attention so we can focus on those important words together. All right, yes, Elliot, can you read, please? All right, so the student would read the definition. Now we're going to go back through and identify those keywords. So an element is represented using symbols. That's a keyword. An element is the simplest form of matter that has a unique set of properties. It is a pure chemical substance made from the same type of atoms. Atom's a key word too, right? You guys see those underlines? All right, moving on to compounds. Can I get one more volunteer, please? Make sure you're reading it nice and loud too. We want everyone to be able to hear you. So you can sit down or stand up, whatever is more comfortable, but please make sure you're loud. All right, yes, Mary, can you read, please? So the student reads. Going back through for some key words, we've got a compound is represented by formulas. Compound contains two or more elements chemically bonded in a fixed proportion. Proportion is a key word. An element can be separated into simpler substances by chemical reactions. So now we're going to bring this stuff to life a little bit. Luckily, there are a ton of common examples of both elements and compounds in our daily lives. So we're going to talk about a few and some of the characteristics they represent. First of all, we're going to talk about water. Now, every single one of these things that I bring up, we're going to group as an element or a compound. And whoever groups is going to help me explain. All right, we ready? We're going to talk about water, represented by H2O. This means there are two hydrogen atoms, one oxygen atom. Let's revisit our definition together. This has two hydrogen atoms, one oxygen atom. So because it's a combination of atoms, bonded in a fixed proportion, that's that 2-to-1 ratio, what are we going to call water? Johnny. So it's not an element. That was a really good try. But the reason it's not an element is because there are two different elements here. We've got hydrogen and oxygen. So instead, water, H2O, is going to be a compound. So I'm going to write water in our compound box, and then I'm also going to write H2O just to remind us of that chemical formula. Everybody see that? All right. Let's try another one. Let's try table salt. So the salt that you eat, like at home on your food, table salt has a formula that looks like this. We're going to erase water for a second. Table salt is NaCl. Everyone see that? Two different atoms. NaCl. How's everyone feeling about this one? Where do we think this guy goes? Let's review our terms. Is it an element? Is it the simplest form of matter? One chemical substance? Or is it multiple chemical substances bonded in a proportion? Susan. Yes, thank you. NaCl is a compound, so we're going to call it table salt. And then we're going to write the formula, NaCl. Awesome. All right, and then just one more. We're going to talk about gold. Gold is simply Au. One substance, one chemical. Which box does gold fall into? Yes, Peter. Element, thank you. All right, I'm going to get rid of gold over here. Now this could still be a little difficult to figure out. So we're going to take time. I'm going to pass out this worksheet to everybody. I want everybody to choose 1 to 2 other people to work with, and we're going to take the next 15 minutes of class to go through our worksheet and identify 20 substances as either elements or compounds. And take a close look at your worksheet when I pass it out. Remember that you're not only identifying the element or compound, but you're going to give one reason why it goes in the box that it goes in. And I'll come around the classroom and help your groups. Alright, at the end of class, we'll save 5 minutes for questions on yesterday's homework. Until then, please work on your worksheet. Thanks so much, guys.